Is it going to happen, or is it just a hope it's going to happen?
It's the most extraordinary thing that's happening. I mean, if you want to apologise to somebody and you want to be with them, what would you do? You'd say nice things, you'd be happy, you'd be kind. But Harry has come out with demands that are absolutely ridiculous.
The gates of Buckingham Palace didn't just shut in Prince Harry's face. Oh no, they slammed with such force it sent a clear shockwave across the royal world. And let's be real, this wasn't about ceremony or royal protocol. This was a brutal message, delivered without words but louder than any speech from that iconic balcony. The message? You can't walk away, torch every bridge in sight, and then suddenly come back expecting a red carpet welcome. When Harry's plane touched down on UK soil, the whispers already began swirling like wildfire. Before the wheels even kissed the runway, chatter filled the air. And no, it wasn't hopeful talk about reconciliation or dreamy royal reunions. It was all about one thing. Who exactly was with Harry this time?
Now you think, does he want to see him or doesn't he want to see him? Does he want to hurt his father or not? So it's very difficult. I think in the end they won't meet, and I hope so, because Harry's saying he will only see, one of the things, he will only see his father if they don't go anywhere near something that's royal.
Archie and Lilibet, his children, the ultimate wild cards in this messy royal game. From the very start, their existence has been clouded in controversy. Shady hospital stays, missing documents, whispers about how those pregnancies were handled. It's been a saga dripping in secrecy and suspicion. For a monarchy obsessed with lineage, ritual, and official record-keeping, those unanswered questions have hung in the air like a storm cloud. And now, Harry marches back onto the stage, practically demanding that his children be welcomed into Buckingham Palace as if the entire scandal never happened, as if the questions never existed, as if he could just press reset on royal history.
Now, his father is coming up to London on Wednesday to have, a look at the doctor will look at him and see how he is, and he comes up every week. Right. So it's said today that Harry was incredibly busy. He doesn't know how he's going to do it.
But this wasn't about a casual family visit. Harry wasn't asking for tea and biscuits in the drawing room. Oh no, this was calculated, deliberate, a chess move dressed up as a reunion. He wanted his kids not just to visit, but to be treated like full royals, as if the bombshell Megxit never ripped the palace apart. And King Charles, he saw straight through it. His response wasn't soft, wasn't sentimental, it was firm, immovable, icy. No entry, no reunion, no special exceptions, not even for the grandchildren. And let's be clear, this wasn't just some petty family squabble. This was a thunderbolt straight from the throne, a signal to Harry and the entire world that in the monarchy blood may run thick, but the crown runs thicker. And oh, you better believe this is where things get even messier.
A lot of journalists are going very pro-Harry, very anti-William and anti-King. It's just Harry and Meghan that are wonderful. I absolutely am not. I think Harry is very, very dangerous.
Because here's the thing, it wasn't just about kids visiting a palace. The whispers behind the scenes are deafening. Legal experts are already speculating, why was Harry so desperate, so suddenly, to bring Archie and Lilibet back onto British soil? And why now? Insiders are convinced this is bigger than it looks. Some say it's the opening move in a looming custody war. Picture this, Harry planting the UK as his children's home base, whether Meghan likes it or not, because if custody battles explode, and let's be real, the cracks in their marriage aren't exactly a secret, Harry would need one thing: proof. Proof that his children have roots, ties, and a life in Britain. This sudden push? It reeks of legal positioning.
He wants to get his own back, and I think that's what Meghan's telling him. And what Meghan tells him, that's what he does.
And where was Meghan in all this chaos? Nowhere. Not on the plane. Not in the palace. Not even lurking in the headlines. Her silence? Deafening. Was it strategic? Protective? Calculated? No one knows. But one thing is crystal clear. She wasn't about to stand beside Harry while he rolled these dangerous dice. Some say Meghan is staying quiet to avoid fueling the flames. Others whisper that she's letting Harry take the beating so she can remain spotless, untarnished, ready for her next Hollywood move. A brand deal? Another bombshell interview? Maybe even a second memoir. Whatever her game plan is, Meghan is steering far clear of the battlefield. Meanwhile, Harry, once the people's prince, now looks like a man pathetically pounding on palace doors that refuse to open.
His father is in that position right now. Now, we hope he lives, a long life and much longer than it currently is, right? We hope he kicks cancer's backside. But who knows? Who knows what the doctor finds out, right? Yet the posture seems to be exactly the same from Harry.
This wasn't just a failed visit, it was a complete crash and burn power play, and it exposed everything Harry has lost right there in plain sight. His credibility, gone, his control, shattered, any ounce of influence within the royal family, finished. When King Charles said no, it wasn't just a refusal. It was a cold reminder to Harry and the entire watching world that Buckingham Palace is no revolving door. It's a fortress. And once that fortress slams shut, no amount of pleading or pounding will crack it open. And here's the irony. Painful, bitter irony. Harry, the same prince who once smashed through the palace walls with Oprah confessions and memoir bombshells, is now desperately clawing at those very walls he tore apart. Watching him scramble back is almost tragic.
Well, it's worse, actually. Yes, the things that he's demanded, I'll tell you, 3 things. One is that his father got to pay out of his own money.
But this mess isn't just about bringing the kids to the palace. Oh no, it's about dragging himself back into relevance. Remember when Harry walked away, claiming he wanted freedom and peace? Well, his latest stunt screams something else entirely. It screams of a man craving the crown's structure, its status, its spotlight. The shocking part? Harry actually seems surprised by the palace's frosty reception. As if years of blasting his family on global platforms could magically vanish with one glossy photo op in the palace gardens. He wanted the perks without the price, the respect without the responsibility. But the monarchy doesn't bend like that. It doesn't dance to feelings. It's built on protocol, tradition, and discipline. And Harry? He's broken all 3.
Protection for 4 of them. He wasn't allowed this in the courts because he's no longer a working royal.
And Charles, he may be a father, but above all, he's the king. And a king doesn't play along with thinly disguised power grabs dressed up as family visits. Then came the kicker, the security demand. Reports say Harry wanted his full taxpayer-funded protection reinstated, not just for himself, but for his children too. Let's not forget, this is the same man who dragged the British government into court, suing the Home Office when he lost his security privileges. And he lost. Yet here he was, expecting King Charles to foot the bill personally. Honestly, it came off as delusional at best and flat out entitled at worst. It painted a picture of a man still refusing to face the fallout of his own decisions. This isn't 2018 anymore. Back then, the world viewed Harry and Meghan as daring rebels shaking up the monarchy. Today, they're seen as out of touch, reckless players who lit the fire and now act shocked when they feel the burn.
Number 2, the Buckingham Palace have got to deal with the press, any photographers, because they don't want anything that's not friendly and warm. This is for Meghan.
The fairy tale has completely soured. Their Netflix deals are crumbling. Their media brand is fading into obscurity. And as for the royal family, they've already moved on. William, Kate, Camilla, they didn't even flinch when Harry came knocking. No words, no gestures, not even a single nod of sympathy. The message from the family? Crystal clear. The door isn't just closed, it's bolted shut. And Harry's timing couldn't have been worse. Just as he tried to spin a redemption narrative parading fatherhood and family values, the tabloids shredded him. Headlines screamed, "Duke denied, Charles says no." They weren't mocking, they were merciless. Social media joined in instantly, turning his humiliating rejection into a meme fest. Within hours, the internet had chewed him up and spat him out.
3 is that Meghan has got to be given the HRH, which is her Royal Highness. And everybody's got to, from now, curtsy or bow to her. She's done absolutely nothing.
Thousands of comments flooded in, most cheering for Charles, most mocking Harry's fantasy that he could simply waltz back into royal favor. But then the spotlight swung onto Archie and Lilibet, because, let's not pretend, the rumors about their births have never died down. Surrogacy whispers, secrecy, that infamous lack of transparency, those shadows still hang heavy. So maybe Harry thought this palace stunt would finally silence the whispers, normalize his children's place in the royal fold. But if that was his plan, it backfired spectacularly. Instead of quieting the noise, he reignited it. Why now? Why the sudden rush? And why, most importantly, is the palace pushing back with such visible resistance?
Apart from moaning for 72 days when she was there, she hates the royal family. She won't do anything that's helpful. What does she want all that for? It is just testing the king. That's what I think.
Behind those gilded palace doors, insiders whisper that tempers are boiling. This wasn't just Charles putting his foot down, it was Charles acting out of fear. Fear of setting a dangerous precedent, fear of ripping open wounds the monarchy has fought tooth and nail to stitch shut. Because let's face it, letting Archie and Lilibet stroll into Buckingham would spark a firestorm of questions the crown has no intention of answering. Questions about their status, about their future, about inheritance. And those questions, they don't just linger, they explode. For a family that lives and dies by lineage, that's not just risky, it's deadly. And where does that leave Harry? Utterly trapped. Across the Atlantic, America doesn't idolize him anymore like it did right after Megxit. The halo of Hollywood sympathy has dimmed. And in Britain, the gates have been slammed, bolted, sealed. And Meghan, she's silent, watching the storm from an ocean away, carefully keeping her distance while Harry flails.
It's very tiring and it's very worrying. So you don't want a boy, because he might be 40, but he behaves like a boy, shouting at you of what he's got to do. I mean, he shouldn't bring that up in the subject whatsoever, nothing.
And here's the cruelest part. His children, innocent as they are smack in the middle of a storm Harry created with his own hands. What he tried to frame as a warm family visit now looks more like a failed invasion. And the fallout? Oh, it's only just begun. Because this isn't about bruised feelings, this is about legacy. What's left when titles are gone? Trust is shattered, and the bridges between blood and crown are burned down to dust. For Harry, the reality is harsh. He's not just shut out of the palace, he's shut out of two worlds. The UK has moved forward. The monarchy has locked its gates. And in America, the shine of his memoir, once a global bestseller, has dulled. People are tired. Every interview sounds the same. The same grievances, the same sob story, the same misunderstood prince narrative. But audiences aren't buying it anymore. He's no longer the scrappy underdog battling the system. He's just a man staring backward while pretending to walk forward. And Meghan? Her absence from Harry's UK stunt was no accident. It looked deliberate, calculated, perfectly timed. No messy photo ops, no new mistakes, no fuel for critics. She's not standing in the chaos, she's circling it, waiting. And here's where it cuts the deepest. Harry isn't just facing rejection, he's staring down a brutal truth. The monarchy isn't bending, it isn't budging, and this time, there are no second chances waiting in the wings. The crown has always protected itself first. And Harry? For all his titles, memories, and tears, he's no longer part of that shield. Back in 2020, when he stormed out, he didn't just leave. He torched the institution on his way down the steps. And now, here he is, sifting through ashes, desperately reaching for a second chance. But Windsor doesn't deal in second chances. Not after betrayal. And that's the raw, ugly truth. Harry isn't the young prince walking behind Diana's coffin anymore. He isn't the soldier prince in uniform. He isn't even the cheeky rebel royal with a grin and a headline. Today, he's just a man stripped of influence, of credibility, and worst of all, of the family bond he once swore was unbreakable. The palace gates stand closed, cold, final, and they aren't reopening, because when it comes down to it, the crown always wins. Always. And Harry, for all his grand plans and teary-eyed pleas, is learning the harshest lesson of all. Once the crown locks you out, there is no key back in. The irony? He built this prison with his own hands, and that's the picture the world sees now. Harry on the outside, nose pressed against glass, watching the very world he abandoned thrive without him. William and Kate shine brighter than ever, Camilla firmly by Charles's side, the monarchy solid, frost-covered, untouchable. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan's empire is wobbling, Netflix is cooling, Spotify fizzled, Hollywood is shifting its gaze to fresher faces. The world is moving forward, and Harry, he's stuck, desperate to rewind a story that no one wants to reread. The People's Prince is gone. The misunderstood rebel has faded. What remains is a man trapped in the echo of his own choices, his legacy slipping like sand through his fingers. And when history writes this chapter, it won't be about the grand love story he hoped to immortalize. It'll be about the downfall, the prince who walked away, burned his bridges, and found himself on the wrong side of the gates, pounding on a door that will never open again. Because Buckingham doesn't forgive. And the crown? The crown always protects itself.